Okay, everybody, I'm going to wrap up the OTC stocks to watch segment to kick off the week. Anybody watching the videos for the first time, I referenced the yearly chart. The 20, 50, and the 200 is what I use, and it keeps it simple and it's easy to follow along. So the first one I'm going to start with is ILLR. It's about 23 cents a share, closed above the 20 and the 50-day moving average, which to me is a bullish sign. The MACD line flipped positive, which is another bullish sign. The indicators are starting to curl up. It could do a push from here, which I would anticipate at this point. The 200-day moving average is up around 41 cents a share. I'm certainly not saying it's going to rush right up there, but I think it's got some run to at least start to get there anyways. 25-cent near term is certainly, on the table in my opinion, and with some volume and a push, you could go a little bit higher, but I'm not doing any price targets. I'm just showing you that with a little bit momentum, it can get there. So EVLI, highlighted this one for a couple weeks. 067 it closed at. Continues the strong run up the chart. Seems like it makes new highs at almost every single day. The key was to hold the 5-cent line. It dipped under a couple times, maybe earlier last week or week prior, but it's been holding strong and continues just to push off of it and move higher. So near term, I don't see any issues with this. If 5 gets tested and falls behind, I'd definitely be leery on it, but as of right now, there's no reason to think that would be happening. So, people ask me, is 10 cents possible near term? Of course it is. I'm not saying it'll get there, but with the buying momentum that's kicked in, it's traded almost 2 million shares on Friday, which is not bad going into a long weekend. So the volume's still there and the interest is still there. So I like this one going into the week. VMHG, just about 2 cents a share, just under, basically 1.9. Seems like support's here. I've seen on the chart, I think at least a couple times where it finds support near this level and does a strong push and quickly rushes up to 5 and then pulls back, and it's like rinse and repeat. Not saying it's going to happen again, but it's something to consider that when it hits this support line, that buyers jump in and it just runs right back up. So just an interesting one to take a peek at. HIRU, I've highlighted this one a little bit of late, basically around the 004 to 5 range. It seems like that's been solid support for a little bit now. And right now it's pushing up against the 20-day moving average. The 20-day moving average is quite interesting. It's pushed it down, this price, from like 007 range right down to where it sits now. And when you see that happen and it starts to push back and tries to pop over that moving average, when it does, you usually see a strong move. And so this one I'm watching very closely. I watched it close this past week, and even threw some bids in there, and hoping to get a quick drop down and then pop over. But if it pops 016, it could go up to the 50-day moving average, which sits at 019 pretty quickly, in my opinion. A move above that, and now we're in business, right? So I think let me take my notes. The 200-day moving average sits at 0028. So if it can pop over 2, that would be the next target, in my opinion. So BIEI 0015, another one right in the same spot as HIRU. It's had a nice steady climb. It's like a complete opposite of the last chart I did. This one, it's climbing the 20-day moving average. It just keeps using it as support, and as the 20-day moving average line continues to move higher, the price of this moves higher. So I think it tested 002 a couple times. That's near term. That's what I'd be looking at. If it does break below the 20-day moving average, I would definitely take a pause on it, but hasn't really come close to doing that in some time now. So I do like my chances going into this week. And the last one is BCDS. I've looked at this one for a bit. It's tested a penny and has come back. It's closed at 0073. It's basically testing the 20-day moving average right now, which I'm finding quite interesting. because if it can bounce off of it, like I'm hoping it does, it can retest that 1 cent range, and looks like it has a triple top basically on the chart. That means it's hit 0.12 cents a share like 3 different times, or pretty close to it. So if it does push off the 20 and crosses the penny, you know, a lot of people look at that point as resistance. If it can get above it, I think it takes off running, you know, and so that one's kind of interesting. You know, first you got a great entry right here at the 0.073 range, in my opinion, unless it breaks below the 20, and then you got to take a pause on it, because, you know, suddenly the moving average could turn into resistance instead of support. But as long as it holds above it, it looks good. But, you know, a push of this and then you cross a penny, and then a lot of investors jump back in, and that's where that test comes of the 0.12. So definitely look into it. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't, you know, rush out and buy shares because I made a video or posted on it. Do your own due diligence. See if you can, you know, see what I'm looking at, and take a look at some of the other videos. I love doing the OTCs. I get a lot of people asking me about them. I obviously love NASDAQ, Amex, and the New York Stock Exchange as well. Those, you know, especially small caps, you find some gems. So take a look at some of the videos I've been putting out. I probably put out another couple tonight, hopefully, before the open tomorrow. And take a look in the morning for my pre-market movers as well. Have a good day, everyone.